If there was one food you could get rid of completely, what would it be? Vegetables! I thought you'd never ask. I mean, this Kool-Aid is so delicious. Well, actually, you're wrong. The correct answer is sugar. So did you know that we actually do not need sugar to survive? You could cut out all sweets and sugary beverages entirely, and it wouldn't affect us. And actually, it would make us a lot healthier. Now, for the sake of this video, when I'm referring to sugar, I'm referring to added sugars like sweets and different desserts, and I'm also referring to refined carbohydrates, which are basically carbohydrates that will quickly turn into sugar. In the United States, the average person will eat about 17 teaspoons of sugar, and that'll equate to about 14% of someone's calories in a single day. Now, obviously, we know that sugar is bad for you, but what exactly is it doing to your body? So the first thing that sugar affects is your teeth. You have these bacteria that live in your mouth, and some of these bacteria are good and some of these bacteria are bad. Now, when sugar gets in contact with your teeth, these bad bacteria in your mouth, they'll start to eat that sugar. And in turn, they'll start to release these acids as these byproducts. Now, these acids that these bacteria release will sit on our teeth and damage our teeth. Over time, these acids will start to cause holes that form in our teeth. These are also called cavities. Now, these holes make it easier for bacteria to get deeper and deeper inside your teeth and cause more and more damage. And eventually, you might even have to lose your tooth. You know, if you were to get rid of sugar entirely from your diet, you would probably never get cavities. Now, we all know that sugar affects our teeth, but what about the rest of our body? The more that you eat sugar, the more that your body is gonna gain weight. And it's not just because of those empty calories that you're eating. It's also because sugar actually makes you more hungry. And sugar actually affects your body on a deeper level, because studies show that sugar also increases your visceral fat. So your visceral fat is basically the fat that's deep inside your belly. And this is the fat that surrounds your organs. You know, people wonder all the time, like, why am I not losing weight? Or how do I get my six-pack back? I mean, I'm doing all the right things. And then they turn around, they have a slice of cake, or they have some desserts after dinner. No, you need to cut that out. Your body does not need that. So another problem your body gets when you eat too much sugar is insulin resistance. So sugars and refined carbohydrates will both spike your insulin and spike your glucose levels. So as soon as that food enters your body, your sugar levels rise, and that means that your insulin in your body has to go up to kind of control those sugars. Now, what you gotta understand is this sugar that you're eating, it doesn't have any fiber in it. So that means it's gonna get absorbed really, really quickly. Now, compare this to something like a fruit. Now, fruits have a lot of sugar still, not as much as a donut, but still quite a bit. But they also have a lot of fiber and a lot of nutrients. So that's why it's a lot healthier to eat a fruit than it is to eat a donut. Because even though you're getting that sugar, there's so much fiber in it that it's kind of slowing its digestion down. So it's not going to spike your glucose or your insulin as much. And it's also going to give you a whole lot of nutrients. But when you're eating these refined sugars, it's going to spike your insulin so quickly, and it's going to eventually lead to insulin resistance. Now, basically what that is when you have so much insulin in your body, that insulin will start to not work as well because your body will start to resist this insulin. So in turn, your body has to produce more and more insulin just to get that same effect. Now, this is the problem because now your body's not reacting as well to insulin. And this is what can lead to diabetes. But it's not just diabetes that comes with insulin resistance. Your whole metabolism kind of slows down. And this will lead to a whole cascade of other issues. It'll lead to more weight gain. It'll lead to a higher blood pressure. It'll even lead to damaged arteries like atherosclerosis. And the more sugar that you eat, the more inflammation that you're gonna get in your body. Now, a little bit of inflammation is good. Sometimes our body needs that inflammation. But when you eat sugar, it's just adding on to that inflammation. And this can lead to what's called chronic inflammation. Now, chronic inflammation is going to be involved in all sorts of chronic diseases. Now, a lot of people think that all these diseases are just part of old age. You know, as you live long enough, eventually you're going to run into some issues. Now, you got to understand that these diseases happen gradually. Eating one ice cream cone on a random Sunday is not going to really affect you. But over time, constantly flooding your body with these sugars is going to lead to chronic problems. There was a systematic review, and it was looking at consumption of sugar and risk of getting cancer. Now, I'm putting this in the description below, so you can check it out if you want. But they found that diets that have a higher sugar content are at a 60 to 95% increased risk of getting cancer. Now, what else does sugar play a role in? What about acne? So what exactly causes acne to form on your skin? So you have these pores or these little holes that are in your skin. And sometimes these can get blocked, either by oil or dirt, or sometimes hormones are involved in this. But this is when you'll start to see acne forming. And this is part of the reason why it happens so much during puberty. Now, sugar, we already know, will rise your blood sugar and also rise your insulin. And in doing so, it's also going to spike a hormone called androgens. And it's also going to increase your oil production and obviously increase your inflammation. Now, all of these are going to contribute to more and more acne. And there's been multiple studies on this. And they found that when you cut down your sugar intake, it also lowers the amount of acne that you get. Now, a lot of the stuff that we mentioned so far is kind of common sense. We already know a lot of these things are going to happen when you eat too much sugar. But there's a couple other things that come with sugar that I wanted to talk about that not many people know about. So one thing that people have found is that your diet will play a crucial role in both your mood and also your risk of having anxiety and also potentially depression. Now, in the last 70 years or so, we've had a huge change in people's diets. We've had more and more people eating processed foods, more fast foods, more artificial flavorings, artificial colorings. All this artificial junk has been added to our diets. Now, when your diet's not good and you're eating a lot of processed crap, it's going to cause a lot of stress on your body. So when you eat these processed foods, it actually evokes the fight or flight response in your body. This is the same response you get if you saw a bear that was trying to kill you. Nowadays, people are in a constant state of this stress, and it turns chronic. They have this chronic stress that's going on. I mean, think about it. Next time you're driving to work, just see how many people are angry around you. Are they honking, or are they like cutting lanes and trying to cut people off? Or are they generally calm? I mean, I know from my personal experience driving to work, most people around me are angry drivers. And no, it's not because I'm a bad driver or anything. I mean, I'm a pretty good driver, I think. But having these really processed foods in our diet definitely plays a big role in affecting our mood and our emotions. And that also involves sugar. Do you remember when there was a big stigma around eating fat? Everyone thought that fat was a problem. Sugar is fine, but as long as you cut down your fat, then you're going to be healthy. There's been a huge increase in people's sugar consumption as well. So there was a study on this. They were studying about 8,000 men, and they were either consuming 67 grams of sugar a day, which, by the way, is the average amount of sugar consumed. And the other group was consuming only 40 grams of sugar a day. Still a lot, but much less. The group that had more sugar was 23% more likely to develop depression. Now just think about if you cut out sugar entirely. Now the last thing I wanted to talk about is your aging. There's something that's called AGE, not age, but advanced glycation end products. Now these are formed by the reactions between sugar and protein in your body. And the more of these that we have in our body, the more that our skin is gonna age. And the more sugar that we consume, the more of these that we're going to get. So when you have these AGEs in your body, they're actually going to damage your collagen and your elastin. Now these are two very important proteins for your skin, and they help keep your skin stretched and they help keep you looking young and healthy. Instead, when these proteins get damaged, now your skin's going to be way more likely to get wrinkled up and start sagging. Now sugar doesn't just make you look older, it can actually age you faster. There's something that are called telomeres. So telomeres are these structures that are at the end of your chromosomes. And they're basically these protective caps that protect your chromosomes. Now, as you age, these telomeres will start to naturally shrink on their own. And this is going to cause some of your cells to start malfunctioning, and it's also going to cause you to age. Now, that part is natural. But when you eat sugar, this actually speeds it up. And there was a study that actually looked at preschool children. And even at that age, when they ate more sugar, they had shorter telomere lengths. That means that even in preschool, those kids were aging faster than their peers. Now, if you made it to this part of the video, I'm sorry, because you probably do not want to eat sugar anymore. But it's gonna help you in the long run. Sugar is not good for you, and there's no benefits that we get from it. If you guys have any other sugar alternatives or other desserts that are delicious but healthier, please leave them in the comment section below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked that video, and if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel below. I will see you in the next video.